Hi, this is David. I'm going to show you what I've been doing for my mapping project. So I'm going to open my project, my terminal project, which open up and has a series of shells commands in there that open up other applications if I need them. And it also has a timeline of events timed events that happen throughout the piece, including an ascend log 1, and then over here ascend log 2. The log 1 opens through shell commands. Logic Pro. Logic Pro opens up, and my potentiometers from, and then it changes focus back to max. I have all of my pots, my flexi pots, my homemade, my glove, and then the 3 pots for the top, which I don't have connected right now because it's not super important that I show you that the physical parts work. But this opens up Logic Pro, and I'm exploiting the fact that Logic opens up the most recent project that somebody is working on. And I have this set up to open 12 instruments and an amp switcher, which is part of the analog aspect of my piece. So I'm going to show you the MIDI environment, which is got a lot going on and it looks kind of confusing, but if you just look at the bottom here, I have my IAC driver from Max 1, and I have an object in Max. I'll show you to that afterwards. That is sending all of my MIDI, setting all of my information as MIDI data, setting the notes from the flex sensors and the potentiometers, that are specifically set to change a frequency in the max patch, are also sent over here and then split into 12 channels, which, as you can see, all the white lines connecting them. Those 12 channels all end up as the 12, as these 12 objects that are then activated by max patch. Just to show how that works, as I change these, you'll hear the sounds. And then later on in the timeline, that button right there, or that bang, activates a closes Logic. And let me see if I can find exactly where I have those sends going out. Right here. So what happens here is that this open and closer object, OPCL, selects this terminal. Contains a bunch of collections. Each collection has a series of chord progressions, and they're all related to each other. These chord progressions are selected as let me see that again. I have 1 to 5s, 5 to 1s, so it's very basic sort of phrasing, and then it bangs out the chord progressions using my tick out objects, which I don't know if I've explained before, but it does a random sort of a timing for measures where it chooses quarter notes, half notes, and full notes, and arranges them together in measures randomly, and then ticks them out as chords. These chords then come over to this timeline object, a different timer within my timeline object, unpacks each of the notes, adds them to the fundamental or the primary note that is being played at the time. So if the frequency is roughly an equivalent of like 57 right here, which is, you know, 2 notes below the 60, which I believe is the middle A. I can't remember right off the hand what the MIDI notes are. I usually look at a chart. This comes through in here, and the chord progression tells it to add 0 to that note, or 4, 7, and 12, and that creates a chord. In this case, what's it, a major 7th, I believe. Again, I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking a couple of weeks ago when I wrote all of this. But then those chords go out to a make note object, which then go out to a note out object, which if you label, you don't have to go through and double click. You can say from max 1 or from max 2, and then you don't have to go through and double click. And that's how it ends up being mapped into Logic. I could have used Creative or CC Control, as I've done before, but this one is just for this specific project. This is the best way to map it for me. Okay, that's a little bit long. I'll let you go.